Okay, hi guys, hi again. For the 5-6 of you who joined us in the beginning of the previous live stream, हम live गए थे और फिर कुछ हो गया and सब अटक गया, so we had to redo the stream again. Welcome back to Sports Stars Pro Kabaddi League live stream. मेरा नाम लावण्या है और मेरे साथ है मेरे colleague Mayank. Hi again, Mayank. How are you feeling? Have your feelings changed in the last 5 minutes?
Hello again, Lavanya. I don't think much have changed, so we'll come straight to the point and
Yes.
we'll start the stream.
Yes. Just for context, if there's any of you joining us for the first time in this stream, agar koi hai, or if the 5 of you who are there are coming back again, welcome back. We are going to be discussing the playoffs of the Pro Kabaddi League. After close to 2.5 months, we are finally down to the last week. Abhi ye aakhri hafta hai Pro Kabaddi League ka for the 9th edition. And we have 6 teams who have qualified for the playoffs. All these 6 teams, we will discuss their performances, what worked, what didn't work, और शायद उनके चांसेस कैसे हैं इस प्लेऑफ्स में, ये सब हम डिस्कस करेंगे इस वीडियो में. सो ऑब्वियसली थ्रू आउट द लास्ट कपल ऑफ वीक्स आप सब जुड़ चुके हो हमारे साथ. यू ड्रॉप्ड इन योर कमेंट्स, योर क्वेश्चंस, योर सजेशंस, योर ओन थॉट्स अबाउट different people's performances. Please continue to do that this week as well, especially because हम लोग top 6 teams के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं. It will be very interesting to know what you all think of these teams as well. So before, I don't know what happened in my system, but before that interrupted us that time, I was talking to Mayank about how happy he feels about his favorite team making it to the playoffs. So since we wanted to get straight to the point, I think, and to be fair, आप smile कर सकते हो Mayank, but this is easily the story of the season so far. So let's hear it from Mayank about Tamil Thalaivas. What have your thoughts been about just how well this team has managed to come back in the season?
Now, again, like जैसा I was telling about the team in the last 5 minutes also, same ही thing मैं repeat करना चाहूँगा कि like they deserve to be like where they are right now. Top six में they have qualified after testing for from so many teams.
Yeah.
So the way they have started under Jay Uday Kumar, उनका सीजन इतना हॉरिबल स्टार्ट हुआ था. हम सबको पता है कि कैसे फॉर द फर्स्ट 2-3 weeks we were talking only about Pawan
Yeah.
Sehrawat. Pawan Sehrawat being such a big name in PKL itself, जिनके पास वो कैपेबिलिटी है कि वो मैच बाय मैच लाइक ईच मैच में ही हैज कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ टेकिंग 20 25 30 इवन रेट पॉइंट्स. सो इतने बड़े नाम, इतना ज्यादा वैल्यू उस प्लेयर ने प्रोवाइड किया था. वो आपकी टीम का मेन मतलब सेंटर ऑफ अट्रैक्शन का हो या सेंटर ऑफ प्लानिंग का हो, एग्जीक्यूशन का हो, कैप्टन, मतलब सबके सब, मतलब नेवर पुट योर फ्रूट्स इन अ बास्केट, एक जो फ्रेज है एग्जैक्टली वही किया गया था तमिल थलाइवास के द्वारा. एंड इट फेल मिजरेबली ऑन. बट विद इन द फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स हमने देखा कि कैसे he had to be stretchered out जब वो टैकल अटेम्प्ट कर रहे थे अगेंस्ट गुजरात जायंट्स.
Mm-hmm.
चंद्रन रंजीत थे वो प्लेयर. एंड देन उनकी मिजरी वहां से चालू हुई. दे कुड ओनली मैनेज वन विन इन द फर्स्ट 6 गेम्स. तो उनके एक मैच में एक विन था, एक ड्रॉ था, एंड बाकी 4 के 4 लॉस्ट थे.
Mm-hmm.
एंड देन पर्सनल रीजन की वजह से उनके कोच ने भी बीच में ही टीम को छोड़ दिया. तो आई डोंट थिंक कि किसी ने भी मतलब उनसे ये एक्सपेक्ट किया था कि they can make a comeback, given that from season 5, 6, 7, 8, this is the fifth season. पिछले चारों के चारों सीजन में तमिल थलाइवास आर द टीम who saw themselves being on the bottom place, if not bottom, the second, if not bottom as in 12th नहीं तो 11th पे रहते थे. तो आई डोंट थिंक किसी ने ऐसा एक्सपेक्ट किया था कि इतनी यंग टीम, इतनी इनएक्सपीरियंस टीम इस पोजीशन पे आएगी. बट दे डिड इट विद वेरी गुड पैशन. उनके जो कोच हैं उनके अंदर इतना कॉन्फिडेंस था. आई रिसेंटली हैड अच्छा अपॉर्चुनिटी टू टॉक विथ हिम. उनके अंदर जो कॉन्फिडेंस है, अगर उसका 10% भी वो इम्पार्ट करने में केपेबल रहते हैं अपनी टीम को, आई गेस ये टीम ट्रॉफी से नीचे कुछ नहीं देखना चाहेगी.
राइट, एब्सोल्युटली. इंटरेस्टिंग बात तो ये है कि आपने बोला अबाउट कीपिंग ऑल देयर एग्स इन वन बास्केट. That's been true of Tamil Thalaivas for a few seasons now. For those who have followed them from when they joined the league, you would know that they have this tendency to buy big players. Like be it Manjeet last year or Rahul and Ajay the year before that. उनकी strategy बहुत interesting रही है because they will probably strengthen one aspect of their game and then the rest will still suffer. सो उनकी एक आदत रही है कि एक दो प्लेयर्स पे डिपेंड करो दैट दे विल कैरी यू थ्रू द सीजन. And to be very fair, the same thing was done this time also. Like, even though Pawan got injured and then had to like sit out the entire season, we saw Narendra stepping up and उन्होंने responsibility लिया कि रेडिंग की जिम्मेदारी वो लेंगे. And then dependence उन पे भी बन गई थी एक टाइम के बाद. So despite all of that, we've seen Ashan Kumar identify talents in his team. उन्हें अजिंक्य पवार में एक लीडर दिखे जिनको उन्होंने थोड़ा बहुत बढ़ावा दिया. Not, I mean, obviously he got the captain's armband later in the season, but you would see him raiding a little more. Do or die raids में वो आते थे. In fact, all that 6 point, 7 point, all this stuff kept happening. And he's a very lively sort of a presence on the mat. So we've seen this team struggle through two major injuries, not just one. Pawan की बात एक है. And to sort of bookend the season, Sagar को भी एक injury हो गया था end में. And Ashan Kumar has been telling us that he will be fit for the Mumbai leg. That is if Tamil Thalaivas qualify. अब तो क्वालिफिकेशन भी हो गया है, बट वी स्टिल डोंट हैव अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ सॉलिड अपडेट ऑन सागर. सो होपफुली वील फाइंड आउट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग विथ हिम. But Tamil Thalaivas take on UP Yoddhas for a place in the semi-final, and that winner will face Puneri Paltan, right? If I'm not wrong. Eliminator 2.
Yes,
Eliminator
yes.
2 के winners will face
They'll
Puneri
face
Paltan.
it.
Yeah, they'll face Puneri Paltan in the semi-final, which will be on the 15th. So, interesting couple of fixtures this is. Since we're looking at the teams and we've started talking about Tamil Thalaivas, I know ये order में नहीं है, but tell me what you think about this Tamil Thalaivas versus UP Yoddhas clash. How do you think that's going to go?
Okay, before I'll talk about what UP Yoddhas can bring into the table, जैसे आपने कहा कि obviously अजिंक्य पवार के बारे में, तो when I had a chat with Ashan Kumar, he said कि जब वो आए थे टीम के अंदर, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उन्होंने देखा कि टीम का मोरल काफी लो था, और उन्होंने ये भी आइडेंटिफाई किया था कि कुछ प्लेयर्स लाइक जिनके अंदर वो स्पार्क है वो भी मिसिंग थे. तो द फर्स्ट थिंग ही डिड इज गिव दोस प्लेयर्स चांस. उन्होंने बोला कि जो डिजर्व करते थे टीम में, मैंने उनको खिलाया. एंड देन आपने देखा कि मैच बाय मैच, गेम बाय गेम उनका जो कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल था वो लगातार ऊपर जाता रहा.
Yeah.
एंड इवेंचुअली वी सॉ कि हाउ जब सागर इतने इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर, सागर हैड 53 रेट टैकल पॉइंट्स इन 17 गेम्स. तो अगर आप उनका एवरेज देखोगे तो आई गेस अंकुश एंड मोहम्मद रिजा चियानी के बाद सबसे बेस्ट उनका एवरेज है. तो इतने इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर को, अगेन लीडर को अगर गवा देते हो आप, तो तब जाके अगर आपको स्टेप अप करना पड़ रहा हो लीड में भी और लीडरशिप क्वालिटी में भी, रेड में भी और लीडरशिप क्वालिटी में भी, इट्स अ बिग डील. एंड कमिंग टू द पॉइंट, व्हेन तमिल थलाइवास विल फेस यूपी योद्धास, हमने देखा कि तमिल थलाइवास ने यूपी योद्धास को ही 43-28 से हराकर क्वालिफाई किया था. बट कीपिंग दैट असाइड, यूपी वर प्लेइंग देयर सेकंड स्ट्रिंग. हमने देखा कि यूपी ने, आई गेस ऑब्वियसली हर टीम ने अपने बेंच को मौका दिया है, बट हमने ये पिछले और पिछले के पिछले स्ट्रीम में भी ये बात की थी कि यूपी स्टार्टेड वेरी अर्ली. यूपी ने हमने देखा कि यूपी में कैसे सुरेंद्र गिल जब फॉर्म में थे तो उनको चोट की वजह से बाहर जाना पड़ा. तब पवन सहरावत केम, एंड पवन सहरावत जो आए तो वो फिर छाई गए. लेकिन पवन सहरावत के साथ साथ हमने देखा कि रेडिंग प्रोवेस है यूपी का, वो बहुत स्ट्रांग है. हमने देखा कैसे कब
पवन
रोहित
सहरावत,
तोमर,
प्रदीप नरवाल, यू मीन?
सॉरी आई मीन आई एम सो सॉरी,
हाँ, सॉरी,
प्रदीप नरवाल.
एक मिनट, आई वाज लाइक व्हाट, ये फिट कब हो गया?
but I mean प्रदीप नरवाल. तो
Yes.
प्रदीप नरवाल, हाँ ऑब्वियसली उन्होंने बीच सीजन में उनको कैप्टेंसी भी दे दी गई थी. सो इट वाज एक्चुअली वेरी गुड डिसीजन, क्योंकि आप देखोगे जब से उनको लीडरशिप अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है, टीम नेवर लॉस्ट अ गेम. एज इन दे लॉस्ट अ गेम, बट टीम में वो स्पार्क दिखा है जो एंड तक हमने देखा है कि पहले जो फर्स्ट 3-4 वीक्स में ये टीम लगातार अपने आप को बॉटम 6 में देखी थी. इवन बॉटम 6 नहीं, बॉटम 3 में मैं बोलूंगा. लेकिन एक सॉलिड सा इनके अंदर एक बेस इनको मिला. इनको पता था कि दे हैड क्लैरिटी कि क्या करना है. प्लस इनके पास ऑप्शंस बहुत सारे थे. ऑप्शन तो सभी टीम के पास थे, उन्होंने यूज बहुत पहले से किया. हमने देखा जेम्स कम्वेटी को उन्होंने चांस दिया, हमने देखा रोहित तोमर को उन्होंने चांस दिया, हमने देखा गुरदीप को उन्होंने डिफेंस में चांस दिया, और दे ऑल पेड ऑफ इवेंचुअली. अगर आप यूपी योद्धास को ऊपर ऊपर से देखोगे तो यू वोंट से कि इट्स वेरी वेरी गुड डिफेंसिव साइड, लेकिन परफॉर्मेंस वाइज पिछले 2-3 वीक में अगर आप डीप 12 करोगे तो आप देखोगे कि इन्होंने जितनी अच्छी रेडिंग की है उतनी ही अच्छी उन्होंने डिफेंडिंग भी की है. तो आई गेस तमिल बीइंग an underdog, I will still say कि it will be a good matchup. लेकिन अगर किसी टीम का अगर पलड़ा भारी है तो आई विल से कि वो यूपी योद्धाज हैं, गिवन द फैक्ट दैट प्रदीप नरवाल अपने फुल फॉर्म में है। उन्होंने प्रॉमिस किया 1600 रेड पॉइंट्स का, देखते हैं वो कंप्लीट कर पाते हैं कि नहीं। लेकिन जहां तक रही बात उनके गेम बाय गेम परफॉर्मेंस की, ही हैज बीन टॉप नॉच दिस सीजन।
Absolutely. It only makes sense to sort of sum up UP Yoddhas in terms of how strong Pardeep is. It was an interesting decision कि mid season उन्हें captaincy दिया जाए, but that was also because Nitesh felt that his captaincy was coming in the way of his performances. But to be very honest, आप कह रहे हो कि yes, UP's defense has looked better than they were in the middle of the season, maybe when थोड़ा dip हो रहा था. But I still feel like there are some very glaring gaps in UP Yoddhas, which I'm not calling it a problem, but these are gaps that any team can capitalize on. Like for example, जैसे बेंगलुरु बुल्स में अगर आप भरत को क्वाइट रखो तो पूरा टीम sort of दब जाता है, at least for a while, before they can figure out how to recover. UP tends to become a team like that. When you keep Pardeep quiet, especially if we've not seen Surinder Gill for the better half of the second half of the tournament. And I think he's expected to come back for the playoffs. पर अगर वो आते नहीं हैं, and if it comes down again to say Pardeep, Rohit and the other guys, the other couple of tertiary raiders that they have, अगर प्रदीप को आप मैट पे रखोगे मोमेंटम चली जाती है टीम की, बिकॉज ही being the cool as cucumber kind of guy that he is, he sort of he eases the nerves of what the play is like on the mat. चाहे जितने भी पॉइंट्स हो, ही इज़ नॉट दैट ओ गॉड मैं अभी टेंशन लेके मैं कुछ गलत कर दूंगा टाइप प्लेयर. Even in the tensest of situations, in fact, in those situations, he manages to find the dubki, or he manages to get you by hook or by crook. One Super 8 will come. So he is very, very important to how UP Yoddhas will actually turn out. जैसे आपने बोला था, Pardeep is like a huge cog in the wheel for them. And smart decision to give him captaincy, but that would have backfired so much if he was not performing. So it seems really smart to give a guy who's now found his rhythm captaincy, because it doesn't affect him. I don't think he's the type to overthink stuff outside the mat. And to be very honest, आप बोल रहे हो कि Pardeep has been given captaincy, but UP also has a number of leaders in the team itself. Like बहुत ऐसे लोग हैं जो extra सोचते हैं about what strategy should be. Even Nitesh for that matter. Or even if you see Surinder Gill from the bench, or they have a very good support team that actually looks at other teams, properly plans for the players in the opponent side and then comes. So unki preparation ही उनका strength है, not more than, but I'd guess like it's a 55-45 situation in terms of how they turn up for a match. So when they go up against Tamil Thalaivas, जैसे आपने बोला, the obvious strength that they have, one, experience, because they are not a team that is figuring out how to play or how to sort of live without their lead raider, which obviously Tamil Thalaivas has learnt very well. But UP has that playoffs wala experience. They've made it to the playoffs multiple times, but they haven't gone ahead from there. So उनका problem ये है कि वो वहीं पे अटक जाते हैं. This is like the Brazil, so to speak, without the 5 titles of the Pro Kabaddi League. So to see them clear that knockout stage and get into the semi-finals would be something that UP will want to check off their list. Tamil Thalaivas के हिसाब से I think they have a strong team, and because अगर सागर वापस आते हैं, I don't know if that's going to be an advantage for them, because one, he'll be coming back from injury, and two, you don't have mat practice between when you're coming back and the big eliminator. There's no second chances here. So इस बार अगर हार गए, then there are no maybe couple of games where you can make it up or anything. It's do or die in this match. So that I'm a little worried about. Like if Sagar does come back, how is that actually going to help this team, or will he be able to settle into that rhythm? Because we've seen कि Sagar sitting duck की तरह points दे सकता है. He is capable of conceding points like that, because if he's brought back, especially as captain, then his mind is going to be first to captain the team, not to be the ace defender that he is.
I guess यहाँ से उनको ये सोचना चाहिए कि if he is fully fit and fine, for me he will be in my team. I don't know if आशान कुमार क्या सोच रहे होंगे, लेकिन given that कि उनके पास भी अच्छा खासा एक्सपीरियंस है, जो कि अगर आप देखोगे तो मेरे हिसाब से अभिषेक जैसे डिफेंडर्स में उतना है नहीं. लेकिन अगर हम एक और पॉइंट को अगर आप देखोगे कि एक टर्म होता है जो हम बहुत बार स्पोर्ट में यूज करते हैं, ओवर यूज भी कर चुके हैं, वो है मोमेंटम।
Right.
अगर अगर वो मोमेंटम, अगर एक टीम ने अपने प्लेयर्स ने बिठा के रखी है, अगर ये फिर भी उतना मुश्किल नहीं होना चाहिए एक रेडर के लिए। अगर अगर आप सिमिलर सिचुएशन में यूपी योद्धास की भी हमने बात की, और ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि सुरेंद्र गिल शायद आ सकते हैं।
Yeah.
अगर वो आते हैं तो आई गेस, इफ अगर आप दोनों सिचुएशन को देखो, सुरेंद्र गिल कमिंग इन फॉर यूपी एंड सागर कमिंग इन फॉर तमिल थलाइवास,
Mm-hmm.
बेनिफिट तो जाएगा वो सुरेंद्र गिल को जाएगा।
Yeah.
क्योंकि क्योंकि अगर वो अपने टाइम ले सकते हैं, वो जाके मल्टीपल रेड्स में वो एम्प्टी हैंडेड भी आ सकते हैं, वो डू और डाई पे भी खेल सकते हैं, दे हैव मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस।
That's right.
यहाँ एक गलती आप सीधा बाहर जाओगे, टीम पे प्रेशर बनेगा क्योंकि आप डिफेंडर हो। और
Right.
अगर आप आओगे तो ऑब्वियसली मेरे हिसाब से उनको शायद कैप्टनसी भी दे दी जाएगी। अगर यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि उनकी जगह पे अर्पित सरोहा आए थे,
Mm-hmm.
एंड आई एम रियली इम्प्रेस्ड बाय द वे उन्होंने जिस तरीके से, क्योंकि अर्पित सरोहा जाना माना नाम रह चुके हैं। और अगर मतलब ऑब्वियसली अगर इस सीजन में भी जैसे उन्होंने वो लिया अपने आप को, जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लिया उन्होंने खुद के सर पे,
Mm-hmm.
ही अलॉन्ग विद साहिल गुलिया, मोहित एंड एम अभिषेक। जब मेरी बात हुई थी अशांत कुमार से, अशांत कुमार सेड कि उनको थाउजेंड्स कॉल आ चुके थे कि एम अभिषेक को हटाओ हटाओ हटाओ।
Yeah.
इट वाज रियली लाइक फैसिनेटिंग टू लिसन, क्योंकि उनको भी पता है कि उनके प्लेयर्स लगातार, उनके एक प्लेयर, अगर यहाँ पे सिर्फ एम अभिषेक की बात की जाए, तो ही हैज बीन मेकिंग क्वाइट मेनी मिस्टेक। लेकिन उनको पता है कि ही हैज दैट कैपेबिलिटी, ही हैज दैट टैलेंट, कि उनके जो डैशेस आते हैं, अगर अगर वो टाइमली डैश आए, आई डोंट थिंक कि कोई भी रेडर उनके डैश से बच सकता है। ही हैज दैट रॉ पावर इन हिमसेल्फ।
Yeah.
सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू सी अगर प्लेयर्स फिट होके आते हैं तो टीम में जगह बना पाते हैं कि नहीं, क्योंकि इट्स अ डू और डाई गेम। अगर ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एक मैच जीते, एक मैच हार गए, आपके पास कुछ बचा है,
Yeah.
मैच हारे, गेम आपके लिए ओवर, टूर्नामेंट वहीं खत्म।
Yeah.
So it's very important to make decisions before coming to the mat itself.
Absolutely. Which is why actually I'm surprised if he will actually field M. Abhishek. Because वो कह तो रहे हैं कि he has faith in everything, but this is exactly what Randir said about Mayur Kadam also. एक मैच गया, दो मैच गए, तीन मैच गए, and then he dropped him. And after that, that dropping has sort of helped Mayur Kadam in a lot of ways because उसको झटका तो लगा कि okay, मैं ऐसा नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट बन के टीम में रह नहीं सकता. And then 2-3 games he sat out, he was on the bench, and then he was brought back again. And in those games that he came back, I'm not saying कि suddenly परिवर्तन आके he became a flawless defender. That's not what I'm saying. But there was at least those errors reduced. The margin of error at least reduced there. And they had the time to do that. So यहाँ पे will Ashan Kumar take the risk of fielding a defender who you know is prone to mistakes? I'm not saying कि वो बुरा है. Yeah, that's not where I'm getting at. But because you know there is an asset that people can... asset nahi, there is like a liability that people can pick points off. Will he risk it? Will he not risk it? Especially against a team that can score very fast. So that is the issue. If Surinder Gill comes back, even if he's not fast, even if he's not strong, all he has to do is एक हाथ यहाँ से यहाँ बस stretch करना है for him to reach from the back line to the mid line. So when you have raiders like this in your team, how much of a risk can you take in prioritizing faith in your players? It's actually a nice test of Ashan Kumar's character also in a lot of ways, because यहाँ तक वो कहते आ रहे हैं कि हाँ टीम की बिलीफ है, टीम को एक साथ रख के चलना है, but ultimately ये क्या है? It's a competition, so you have to make a few ruthless decisions when it comes to playoff matches like this. So कल की starting 7 क्या होगी? I am very very interested to see, and I want to see which of the Himanshus also make it there, because he's been in the last couple of games, he's been 18 है, but उनमें से 2 are the ones he's regularly rotating. So to sort of see...
No, I guess as far as I saw the game, I will feel कि Himanshu the defender will play ahead of Himanshu Singh the raider, क्योंकि Himanshu Singh the raider he played in the last game, जहाँ पे Ashan Kumar was trying to see कि what obviously उनको थोड़ा game time match time भी देना जरूरी था सभी players को. हमने देखा वो सारी की सारी टीम कर रहे थे. I guess that was the part of strategy. But as far as playing Himanshu is are concerned, क्योंकि उनके पास तीन Himanshu है.
No, exactly. That is what I'm saying. So I'm leaving the last week entirely. Leave the entire of the last week, because we are obviously seeing people test their bench and everything. But we've seen these two Himanshus being used. So if it comes to a point where now you see Ajinkya Pawar, उनको एक rhythm मिल गया है, he's able to at least make an impact on the opponent. If not get super raids or multiple points consistently, he's still able to be there. He's still able to get you those revivals, or he's able to piss off the opponent basically. उनकी antics भी अगर आप देखोगे थोड़ा बहुत, he's very easy to celebrate. There is a mental aspect of the game when it comes to Ajinkya Pawar as well. But there have been games when उसको maybe starting 7 में डाल के he is not fired initially. So when it comes to, if you look at the entire season's graph, for example, if it comes to that, how one of these two Himanshus will function, especially the defender. Even I see them using the defender Himanshu, the one without anything to his name. I see them using him better, but he needs to come good. And more so if Sagar and all are back, for just basically that defense. If you can keep UP and Pardeep quiet, then Narendra can flourish. Because ये बहुत big match है. It comes with its nerves. And I hope the occasion doesn't get to Tamil Thalaivas and the boys there.
Lavanya, I
Yeah.
have a question
Yeah.
regarding to that. आपने कहा कि obviously it's a very big game.
Mm-hmm.
ये चॉपिंग कटिंग जो होता है लास्ट गेम से पहले या लास्ट वीक से पहले, how important or how difficult eventually it becomes for a coach, क्योंकि उनको ये भी देखना है कि हमने जैसे देखा कि कोई कोई टीम्स में जो जो सेकंड फिडल जो टीम खिला रहे हैं, आप बेंगलुरु बुल्स की अगर बात करी जाए तो पॉन प्रतिबन करके जो डिफेंडर है, ही हैज बीन रियली गुड इन लास्ट 2 गेम्स.
Yeah.
तो अब क्वेश्चन ये आ जाता है कि आप प्रतिबन को अगर आप फर्स्ट 7 में मौका दोगे या आप मयूर कदम को मौका दोगे. सो अगर ये सब जो फैक्टर्स है, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली अपने पूरे सीजन में कोई कोई टीम्स अगर बात करी जाए तो तमिल थलाइवास, अगर बात करी जाए जयपुर पिंक पैंथर्स, इनकी एक स्पेशलिटी रही है कि ये एक स्टेबल 7 खिलाना जानते हैं. तो अगर लास्ट वीक में अगर आप मैच टाइम देना चाहते हो किसी और को, तो आप सेमीफाइनल या नॉकआउट गेम्स में आपका क्या स्ट्रेटेजी होगा एज अ कोच का?
Okay, there's two ways of looking at this. Obviously, मैं coaches के लिए तो बात नहीं करूँगी, but a lot of these coaches want to get their starting 7 पक्का before this sort of 2-3 days before the semi-final comes. Because हम लोग बात करते हैं कि एक combination बनना चाहिए, या फिर they need to have an understanding, communication needs to be good, especially between defenders, more so between defenders than the raiders. So in that sort of a way, आप जो कह रहे हो वो सही है. The chopping and changing is not likely to be that drastic before a playoff game. Because ये जो 6 हैं, they know who their winning players are. They know who their match winners are. They know who can handle pressure, who can't handle pressure. ऐसा नहीं है कि 3 मैच खेल के they've come into this sort of eliminator, right? So I don't think we'll see so many drastic changes, but there is another way of looking at it as well. You might not want to be predictable with your starting 7 because the other team is planning for that starting 7. So if you are going to switch things up a little bit, then starting में you might have maybe a different strategy, or you can surprise your opponent as well. Especially if the player you're replacing a current या एक जो steady presence है आपकी टीम में, अगर आप उसको एक performing player के साथ replace कर रहे हो तो क्या जाता है? As long as they're able to either support the defender or bring you points on their own, I don't think it's a bad idea. So the problem is we see only things that are happening on the mat. हम सिर्फ match time की बात देखते हैं या फिर maybe social media में उनका training ये सब देखते हैं. But these combinations and all are figured out even in training, which is primarily what they do. And they train for about 3 to 4 hours every day. So it's not just fitness or technique, it's also these things to figure out who's working better with who maybe pairs somebody best, who can be a better second raider. These are things that these guys constantly see. And जैसे आपने बोला, ये जो last हफ्ता रहा है, they've tested their bench strength बहुत अच्छे से. Like UP Yoddhas have been doing it for a while now. But बाकी जो teams हैं, they've been testing their second and third ranked players. And वहाँ से if they find anyone who can even make it to the bench, then अगर एक if there is an intense period where you need somebody who with a clear mind can just come raid or get you a couple of points or sub in for a super tackle, and if any one of these guys work, then it's an advantage. Double-edged sword hai, Mayank. When it comes to a knockout, you can't really set anything in stone. That is the problem. And that is the advantage also. That kind of comes with the excitement of a knockout, I guess. So I'm actually going to be very interested to see if there is any change in these lineups. It'll be fun to watch if they decide to bring in. And I expect this kind of stuff from, say, Randir, all these maverick coaches. I completely expect stuff like this from them. So let's see what sort of happens. You might see a lot of teams playing it safe, like Pune, Jaipur. All these guys will play it safe because unke sare starting 7 players have been consistently performing. So they have the luxury of sticking to the same lineup. But whether that happens or not, we'll take a look. So that is Tamil Thalaivas, UP Yoddhas. I can't let you go without a prediction. Who do you think will win this?
I feel कि UP will win.
ये क्या है? कोई faith नहीं, कुछ नहीं.
Before coming to you, like there is a channel called Cricket Darshan. He asked you and me, Lavanya and Mayank, what are UP Yoddhas missing
Yeah.
in the playoffs to accelerate them over the semis? So I guess to answer that question, again, raiding prowess they have, defense में भी I say कि जो first half में जो उनका खराब performance रहा था उसको तो at least overcome किया है. But again, I guess more than raiding, I will feel कि defense का चलना उस दिन will be more important. And मेरे हिसाब से the four defenders they'll play is Ashush Singh, Sandeep, and one second, like the defense they played against Bengaluru Bulls, Gurdeep थे, Nitesh थे, Sumit थे, and Sandeep Narwal, who plays as an all-rounder. सो अगर ये 4-5 जो खिलाड़ी है जिनको ऑब्वियसली इसके पहले इस वीक को अगर छोड़ दिया जाए तो उससे पहले वीक में भी लगातार यूपी गेव देम चांस. और जिस तरीके से संदीप नरवाल आए हैं, अगर मुझे याद है कि लास्ट गेम में भी जब काफी सारे चेंजेस करने के बावजूद संदीप नरवाल को लेके आया गया था फर्स्ट हाफ के एंड में, एंड ही स्टिल स्कोर्ड 6 or 7 डिफेंस पॉइंट. So Sandeep Narwal एक X factor की तरह आया है इस टीम में, and he has been doing good. So I guess that day पे जिसका डिफेंस ज्यादा अच्छा होगा, they will win that game. What about you? Like, what do you think?
In terms of, okay, so also I see that this is the Kabaddi Yoddhas podcast. This is the guy, right? This is the person who handles that. Yeah, KYP here bola hai upar. Hi, thanks for joining in. Is this the first time you're joining us? If yes, hello. In terms of missing, this is a purely personal opinion, okay? I think they've had उनकी जो combinations रहे हैं, they've been able to switch up their combinations quite well. But I kind of feel like they should have had one standout star in defense who can at least rally everybody around. The problem is their defense has had so many combinations. इनको लाया, उसको लाया, यहाँ वहाँ बहुत सारा. There was a lot of change made in the UP Yoddhas का defense, especially after they started underperforming in the middle of the season. पहले, that first maybe a week, 10 days, 14 days, they were so strong. We were calling them the best defense of the league. They were the best defense of the league. We were calling them, nahi, their numbers backed them up. And now if you go and look at the tackle statistics, they're nowhere in that top 3-4, which is disappointing, because then that also tells you that they've put multiple responsibilities entirely on the shoulders of their raiders, and that showed in Surendar's workload. So I kind of feel like what Shadlu is for Patna, right? मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि एक player जाके 16 points लेके आए हर match में. That is not what I'm saying. But it would have been nice to have, like for example, they have Abozer in their team, right? You remember peak Abozer, like when he had just come in. If they had somebody like that in their team, then this defense would have been a very different side. Then आँख बंद करके हम बोल सकते थे they might have been where Jaipur is right now. It kind of feels like that when I look at this team. They had potential to be 2 steps ahead of where they are right now, but they're stuck in that 4th position, and now they're having to play that eliminator. So they lack a personality like Pardeep in the defense. So maybe when they look to the auction next year, they need to find someone who can have leadership in the back as well. Because he captain tha, and this is not a criticism on Nitesh. Everyone has the right to say if captaincy is not working for them or if they're not able to handle the responsibility. But they had a defender as captain and he couldn't deal with it. It is difficult. So if you have someone who can just figure out ki, okay, how's everyone feeling, figure out who the best chains are, be more precise with those tackles, then this team is so much more dangerous than it already is. And if that 1% of Surinder not playing for them happens, then someone being strong in defense will hold them in very good stead, especially if Pardeep is not on the mat. So I think that is something they're missing. I hope that makes sense. Ek second now. We have Lavanya ma'am. What about Mohit, Goyat, Aslam and Amdar injury? Will they play in semi-final?
We'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll get to them. Also, KYP also says, yes, I am joining for the first time. I tried to join in, but not for this long. Okay, thank you. This is, like I said before when we got cut off in the previous stream, this is the first of our last 3 streams for this season. So हम लोग आज एक कर रहे हैं. We'll do one right before the final and we'll sit down for a post-season sob session where there'll be a huge vacuum in our lives and we'll try to deal with it on this live stream. ठीक है, सो प्लीज़ डू जॉइन अस फॉर ऑल थ्री. आप लोग तो हमें ट्विटर पे फॉलो करते ही हो, सो जस्ट कीप एन आई आउट ऑन when we'll be doing those on our Twitter handles. Also, KYP says with regard to Mayur Kadam, even commentators started talking about him sarcastically, which turned out to be bad. Arey, kya hi kare yaar? I don't want to say anything about how other people are doing their jobs or like what people are saying elsewhere, but this tends to happen. Like, for example, Mayank, we were talking about Haryana, right, as a team that had a just miss. They could have done, if they were a little neater in their departments, then they could have actually been in this top 6. And there was a statement that Manpreet happened to make about his team not listening to him, which he still makes. Aaj tak wo wahi bol raha hai. If one thing that I would have wanted different in the season is if my players had listened to me. So the commentators sort of caught hold of that and they kept talking about it every time Haryana comes to play, like saying ki maybe press mein jaake disparaging comments nahi karna hai and this and that. You can say that, but ultimately everything's open to everyone commenting about it, which is what we're doing here as well. So I guess you really can't help it. Mayur Kadam has been ordinary, let's face it. For what it's worth, he's made a lot of errors.
No,
Yeah.
Eventually if you are performing, अगर कोई भी कितना भी पीछे से आपको
Exactly.
बोले, that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Your
Exactly.
performance matter. अगर कोई अभी चियाने के लिए कुछ भी बोले, that doesn't matter. No, the way he had performed, the way he had led the defense of Patna,
Exactly.
his performance speaks for himself.
Exactly.
Similarly, अगर आप जयपुर पिंक पैंथर्स की बात करो,
Saul
हम
Kumar.
हम इनिशियली कह रहे थे कि इट्स वेरी वन साइडेड टीम, इनके पास सिर्फ अर्जुन देशवाल है, लेकिन ओवर द टाइम दे हैड प्रूव ऑल ऑफ इट्स रॉन्ग. इनके पास साहुल कुमार, उनके पास सुनील कुमार है, उनके पास अंकुश है, जिनके पास ऑरेंज स्लीव उनको जस्ट लास्ट मैच में उनको देनी पड़ी, लेकिन आई एम प्रीटी श्योर कि
He'll get it back. Yeah, he'll get it back.
he'll get it back. ऑरेंज स्लीव है, ग्रीन स्लीव है, टॉप ऑफ द टेबल, लुकिंग सो सॉलिड. सो अगेन अगर आप परफॉर्म करते हो तो आई डोंट थिंक दीज थिंग्स मैटर्स.
Exactly.
And before jumping to the first eliminator, I'll like to know, Lavanya's your thought about the game, Tamil Thalaivas UP Yoddhas.
Okay, so honestly, I really want Tamil Thalaivas to win because you
want
see.
and think में difference होता है, तो आप
नहीं
बताओ
नहीं, I want them to win. Okay, yeah, हाँ, obviously want और think में बहुत difference है. I kind of feel like they're evenly matched in terms of, okay, maybe that's not fair to say. I kind of think that because उनका momentum high है, that after all of these challenges they've sort of come into the playoffs, I kind of feel like psychological advantage will somewhere stay with Tamil Thalaivas simply because they'll at least have the belief that they can go ahead. But I kind of feel like big match situation में UP might go ahead if Pardeep decides कि आज मैं उठूँगा, मेरे रास्ते में जो कोई भी आता है मैं उसको बस I'll just like bulldoze over him and go. If Pardeep decides that tomorrow is that kind of day, then I don't think anybody stands a chance. He's too good a raider and I hope that we see, like जैसे आपने बोला था कि he said 1600 हो जाएगा. If tomorrow is the day when he decides, okay, let me pull a Shadlu and, do everything on my own and maybe just give the opponents a bad time, then there's no chance Tamil Thalaivas can do anything about it because they tend to panic on the mat. Bahut. So, yeah. So, I want Tamil Thalaivas to win because what an amazing story that would be. If they can just make it even to the semi-finals, even if that is how much they get, it would be such a great story for us to keep talking about for seasons to come. It already is, but I think it'll be nice if we can finish in the semi-final or the final. Right. I agree with this point. I've also criticized his performances while recording Eliminators podcast today. Yes, absolutely. Sai Kumar says, Pardeep Narwal record breaker. Hanji, we'll see how many more records he can break. I hope there's a couple more coming. There's someone else who said, vivo Pro Kabaddi Star Plus Hindi में क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? I'm sorry, but we do not know why the broadcaster is not showing things on that channel. But you can tweet to them. Kabaddi के time पे these guys are very, very active on social media. So अगर आपको broadcast में, if there are some problems or if you're not able to find it, you can obviously tweet to them. I think they'll respond to you. ठीक है. So that is the second eliminator basically. Wait, if Pardeep is in season 5 Patna versus Haryana form, then God save Tamil Thalaivas. Yeah, Tamil Thalaivas is a story Indian Kabaddi fans should and will never forget. Coach Ashan Kumar utilized his players to the fullest. Absolutely. We have a story on Sportstar today that Mayank has done where he's just caught up with Ashan Kumar. Please go and check that out. And हम Ashan Kumar और तमिल तलेवास के बारे में बात करेंगे. इफ़ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, आई थिंक ही इज़ सेट टू बिकम द इंडिया हेड कोच. आई एम नॉट, वी डोंट हैव अ कॉन्फर्मेशन अबाउट दिस येट.
I have spoken about that.
Did he
He
tell
said
you?
no, he said कि जब ये जब कोविड
बेसिकली
का
घुमा
अपडेट
फिरा
आया
के
था,
ही से अगर ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरे पे आता है.
no, he said कि जब जो ब्रेक आया था कोविड की वजह से, उसके वजह से जो एक साल पोस्टपोन हुआ, उसके
Yeah.
पहले तक आई वाज असाइंड टू बी द कोच ऑफ इंडियन टीम, एंड इफ सिचुएशन रिमेन्स द सेम, और अगर मुझ पे वापस आ गई है वो चीज, तो अगर 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 आई विल बी ऑन द सेम पोजीशन, सो आई गेस I'll handle the team. So he said in that way.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So if that is another thing that we can discuss, because Ashan Kumar, if he does, like Mayank said, if he does end up keeping his place, keeping that sort of appointment that he's got, then he's also looking at prospective India team members for the Asian Games. So that is a whole other conversation. When we met him in Pune, he said, हाँ मैं जहाँ भी खेलता हूँ मेरा एक आंख राष्ट्रीय टीम पर ही है. और जो वहाँ पे, यू नो हाउ ही टॉक्स, नो, in like शुद्ध हिंदी, घुमा फिरा के what you were saying is I am looking for people who I can put in the team. So that is another interesting thing to look at, because who he picks, who he thinks, so many good Indian players. So I think we are spoilt for choice. So who makes it to that team, who makes it to that bench, all these are conversations that we can have closer to the Asian Games, but also after the season is done. ठीक है, तमिल तलेवास अपने आप को कंट्रोल करेंगे तभी जीतेंगी, क्योंकि सारे प्लेयर्स न्यू हैं. करेक्ट. यूपी योद्धा फाइनल जाएगी, सेज साई कुमार. देखते हैं साई कुमार जी, आप ज्वाइन कीजिए हमें फाइनल के पहले. वील सी इफ़ योर प्रिडिक्शन इज कम ट्रू और नॉट. ठीक है, दैट इज़ वन एलिमिनेटर. Mayank thinks UP Yoddha. I also, heart of hearts, think UP Yoddha. But honestly, it would be great if Tamil Thalaivas gets through. So, kya hota hai, we'll see. Before that, we have the first eliminator, where we have Bengaluru Bulls, whose team couldn't make it to the final, to this playoffs ka press conference, because they were stuck in traffic. And
Yeah.
Dabang Delhi. Dabang Delhi, this is such a matchup, yaar. What a game this is going to be if these two teams are in full form. What do you think about this clash, Mayank?
Oh, I think it's going to be a very, very good clash for to watch, क्योंकि I still remember कि जो सबसे बेस्ट ब्लॉग रहा है हमारे चैनल पे, वो दबंग दिल्ली एंड बेंगलुरु बुल का ही रहा है. तो आई होप कि जो जो दो टीम है जो अपने साथ इतनी सारी एक्साइटमेंट लेके आती है,
Yeah.
हमने देखा है कि पूरे सीजन में बेंगलुरु बुल, तो वो नेचर ही उनके वेन में ही है, वो कभी वो आधे टाइम पे फुल चार्ज मारी रहते हैं और आधे टाइम पे हाफ चार्ज मारी रह के चले जाते हैं. तो दिस इज द वे बेंगलुरु बुल्स हैड प्लेड. लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम, ओह व्हाट, ओह क्या लवली कंटेस्ट होने वाला है. एक तरफ नवीन कुमार होंगे, एक तरफ भरत होंगे. ओह, आई डोंट थिंक कि इससे अच्छा मैच हमें देखने को मिलेगा.
Yeah.
एंड दोनों दोनों टीम्स के अंदर इतने सारे फ्लॉज हैं, इतनी सारी उनके अंदर कंसोलिडेटेड उन्होंने कभी कभी करके रखा है खुद को. तो आई गेस एक बहुत ही अच्छा मैचअप होने वाला है.
Yeah.
अगर अगर ऑन एंड ऑन अगर हम सीधी बात करी जाए कि कौन जीतेगा, इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट,
No,
क्योंकि
but for the sake of it, for the fun of it, give me a prediction. Who do you think will win?
it's very difficult.
अरे बोल ना, shut, just close your eyes and tell me.
I
पहला
guess
कौन दिखता है जब आप आंख बंद करते हो तो?
I guess Bengaluru Bulls. I don't know for what reason. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, it's Dabang Delhi. It's Dabang Delhi.
What is this? So fickle.
ये गेम ही ऐसा है ना. आप बताओ, एक तरफ हमने देखा था कि किस तरीके से दबंग दिल्ली जो थी, वो पूरे सीजन में दे स्ट्रगल्ड अबाउट देयर डिफेंस. लेकिन जिस तरीके से उन्होंने क्लोजिंग किया है, अगर आप देखोगे पिछले 3 मैचेस में दे हैड अबाउट 15 टैकल पॉइंट्स, व्हिच सेज अ लॉट कि किस तरीके से उन्होंने डिफेंस में काम किया है. अगर सबसे पहले वो चेंज कहाँ से आया, सो आई थिंक द चेंज विजय मलिक brought with him. क्योंकि विजय मलिक आए थे, लगातार उन्होंने 4 या 5 सुपर टेंस लगाए थे, उसमें से they lost even the first 3, लेकिन he didn't stop scoring. उन्होंने स्कोर करते गए, और धीरे धीरे आप देखोगे कि जो बात आशु मलिक ने करी थी कि हम जो गलती की है हमने, हम वो मिस्टेक को सुधारेंगे एंड विल बी बैक. ही सेड विल बी बैक ऑन द टॉप पोजीशन. वो नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन अपना जो टॉप 6 का पोजीशन है उन्होंने एक लॉक तो सिक्योर कर ही लिया है. एक पोजीशन पे वो टीम लग नहीं रही थी, बट आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर कि यू सेड कि विल स्टिल keep one position aside for Dabang Delhi, you still believe कि they will pull it off, and उन्होंने किया, बिल्कुल किया, आपकी बातों को सच साबित किया है. लेकिन I feel कि there is one defender दीपक, उनको initial 7 में मौका नहीं मिला था for the good part of first half, लेकिन later on दीपक को काफी ज्यादा मौके मिले. विशाल has been really good. और अगर आप और भी डिफेंस देखोगे तो संदीप धुल एंड अमित हुडा जो सीजन 1 के वंडर थे, सीजन 1 में उन्होंने सबसे ज्यादा टैकल पॉइंट लिए थे. इतनी टाइम के बाद इतना लॉन्जिविटी रखना, उस इंटेंसिटी के साथ डिफेंस में अपने आप को सॉलिड रखना, इट्स कमेंडेबल. मतलब मुझे लेजिटिमेट अच्छा डर लगता है मुझे दिल्ली के डिफेंस से, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से उन्होंने पिछले 2 वीक में अपने स्तर को यहाँ से यहाँ लेके आए हैं. So it's going to be very good clash against Bengaluru Bulls. What do you think?
Yeah, same. I think like if you look at the stats also, Dabang Delhi is just slightly ahead of Bengal, I'm saying, ahead of Bengaluru Bulls in every which way. Like be it the number of tackles they have, be it the successful rates they have, just ever so slightly ahead in terms of obviously ek do like decimal points की differences हैं, but they have been a little more cohesive जैसे आपने बोला once Vijay has come back into the team. And it kind of feels like वो जो middle में they had that losing streak, right? When they were losing matches one after the other. It felt like they were spiraling. And Vijay in a lot of ways, I could be wrong about this, but he feels like a very calming influence on that team. Because वो बहुत quietly अपना काम करके वापस आते हैं. And he's very no fuss. Like ऐसा नहीं है कि you get jittery or you're screaming at your teammates or there's none of that. So he's very clinical in how he operates and that has rubbed off on this team a little bit. जैसे यहाँ comments में भी लोग बोल रहे हैं कि ये गेम एक्चुअली शुभम सेज दिल्ली वर्सेस बैंगलोर की मैच डिफेंस पे डिसाइड होने वाली है. आई होप नॉट in a lot of ways. I'm saying this only because I hope the Raiders take over. You know, there have been these matches where teams have had only 8 points, 6 points, 7 points in tackles. Because both these teams have had issues in their defense. Obviously, Delhi's defense is an improving defense. And Bangalore also has sort of found its way to minimize mistakes. Yahan wahan. They're still a little patchy and they depend entirely on Bharat to fix, to sort of band-aid over their problems.
But we can't just write off Bengaluru Bulls.
I'm not writing them off.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the comments. Like Delhi will win ऐसा लिखा है क्योंकि सौरभ नंदल एंड अमन जिस तरीके से उनका परफॉर्मेंस रहा है डिफेंस में इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे आप देखो तो they have been phenomenal in the recent past.
See, but Mayank, you're saying this individual level में, fair enough. They are obviously strong defenders. They've had some good moments during this season. But if Delhi decides to do to Bangalore what Pune did to Jaipur, where they just stayed completely away from Ankush, they didn't go near him at all. तो तुम वहाँ जाओगे ही नहीं, तो how is he going to tackle you?
I was coming to that point. What I was telling is कि दोनों स्तंभ हैं अगर दोनों तरफ से आप देखोगे तो, और रेड पे भी अगर भरत को कीपिंग भरत aside क्योंकि we know कि what quality भरत brings to the table, कि उनके अंदर क्या capabilities है, we all know. हमको क्या जानना है is among the three, among Neeraj Narwal, among even captain Vikas Kandola and Sachin Narwal, which are the two players will you play? अगर आप मुझसे पूछोगे तो मैं सचिन नरवाल एंड नीरज नरवाल को खिलाऊंगा क्योंकि सचिन नरवाल ने पिछले जो प्रदर्शन किया पिछले 2 वीक्स में he has been phenomenal as a not as a primary raider, as a secondary raider. And नीरज नरवाल जो डाइवर्सिटी लाते हैं अपने he brings on the table, वो डिफेंस में भी ऑफेंस में भी. ऑफ लेट he has not been that good, we know that, लेकिन जिस तरीके से पूरे सीजन में he has been with the team. I don't think so कि जिस तरीके से रणधीर सहरावत का दिमाग चलता है, I don't know कि लास्ट मोमेंट पे आके उनको ना खिलाए. मेरे हिसाब से it's very highly unlikely, क्योंकि मेरे हिसाब से he'll give the chance. लेकिन विकास कंडोला को जितने मौके दिए गए हैं, he has been I don't know what, I don't have any words for him.
I don't know if they'll drop him though. I don't know if they'll drop him.
I hope that they should drop.
Yeah, I don't know if they should. I don't know. I don't know if this is because we've been seeing him for a few seasons. I don't know what's gone wrong this time. Like he seems to be mentally in a decent place, but there's just something going wrong in his execution. And वो खुद बोल रहे हैं कि उन्हें पता नहीं चल रहा है. एक मिनट, I'm waiting when you will be talking about नीरज. अरे आ रहा है भाई. But yeah, like whether they drop Vikash or not, and Randir has said this multiple times as well, like you know the quality he brings, which is why we've spent that much money for him. And even though he's been, I wouldn't say piss poor, but even though he's been poor, he's still in that side. He's not dropped this man. He's constantly bringing him back, constantly giving him opportunities. And समथिंग हैपन्स, उसके दिमाग में कुछ क्लिक हो जाती है सेकेंड हाफ में, सडनली उसको याद रहता है कि वो मैट पे आ गया है, चलो थोड़ा सा वील पिक अप सम पॉइंट्स एंड गो. आई कैन सी द फ्रस्ट्रेशन इन योर फेस, मयंक, व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट Vikash Khandola, but let's see. I don't know. I don't know if Randir will drop him, because Randir is also one big faith man only, like Ashan Kumar.
The only thing which disappoints me is we all know कि what talent Vikash Khandola has. Vikash Khandola को इतनी बुरी तरीके से फॉल होता हुआ देख के it feels bad.
Yeah.
And if you see कि match by match, okay, even though उनको पिछले मैच में, if I'm not wrong, first half में he was sitting on the sidelines, and then उनको second half में लेके आया गया था. So he has to think कि he has been the captain, like he was leader as in big role उनको दिया गया था रेड में. उनके obviously ये इनसे काफी यंग है जो भी रेडर्स हैं, और ऐसा नहीं है कि विकास के पास एज नहीं है या फिटनेस नहीं है. आई डोंट नो व्हाट हैज बीन रॉन्ग.
He's just having an off season. What can you say?
नहीं ठीक है, अगर उनका ऑफ सीजन हो रहा है तो ऐसा क्या रीजन है कि उनको अब बाहर निकाल के आप सचिन नरवाल को क्यों नहीं खिलाते? सचिन नरवाल को तभी मौका दिया जाता है जब बाहर भरत बैठते हैं. ऑब्वियसली उनको रेस्ट चाहिए होता है, या फिर जब उनको पता है कि दे स्टील द स्पॉट फॉर द टॉप 3, तब सचिन नरवाल को चांस मिलता है. क्योंकि जबकि सचिन नरवाल जितने अभी उनका नाम हो रहा है, लेकिन अगर पहले के उनके छोटे छोटे पैचेस में परफॉर्मेंस देखोगे, वो बुलेट की पैकेट है. मतलब उनको जब भी लाया गया था बहुत ही कम टाइम में, he has always been very good for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And like KYP has pointed out here, Neeraj has also been like one clutch player for them. It's unfortunate कि जो हम points में contribution देखते हैं, that's been a little wonky in the last couple of weeks. But he's also been like a very, very crucial all-rounder for them. And he landed on his elbow. I'm just hoping कि he's okay, because he sat out the game after that. But if he comes back, then it's not just कि Matt में एक sort of confidence मिले. He's also somebody who really like peps the team up. He riles them up nicely when they go to raid or when they're trying to defend. He's that vocal presence. I don't know कि वो कितना sledging करता है, because there's not much you can hear on the mic. But when you see them play, you can hear this man taunting the opponents and all. It's quite fun to watch. So he's a presence in that team. So if he comes in
one game, in a game where both Bharat and Vikash Khandola failed,
yeah, he stepped up.
He's 14-15, and that game Randir Sehrawat said कि he's our man, ये हमें हमेशा बताता है.
Exactly.
So this shows कि आपके कोच पे आपका कितना भरोसा है, आप पर कितना भरोसा है, और कितने अच्छे से उन्होंने अपने गेम को रखा है. ऑफ लेट आप देखोगे कि जैसा स्टैंडर्ड पकड़ा था बीच में उसने, तो बाकी का उस पर एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत बढ़ गया था. लेकिन पिछले अगर आप ऑलमोस्ट 2-3 वीक में देखोगे तो वो अपने स्टैंडर्ड को मैच नहीं कर पाए. लेकिन बड़े गेम में अगर आप देखोगे बड़ी टीम की क्या खासियत होती है कि बड़े स्टेज पे दे स्टेप अप. If he is able to step up in the right moment at the right time, so I guess कि वो अच्छा खासा परेशानी में डाल सकते हैं दबंग दिल्ली के डिफेंस एंड रेडर्स को, दोनों को.
Okay, so there's two ways of looking at this. Okay, बेंगलुरु बुल्स हैज़ उनका जो कोच है वो एक बहुत ही कंट्रोल फ्री किस्म का इंसान है. रणधीर सहरावत को सब चीज़ अपनी मुट्ठी में कंट्रोल में चाहिए. लाइक ही विल मेक श्योर कि स्ट्रैटेजी ये है, प्लान A B C D E F G H तक वो बना के जाएंगे, एंड दिस टीम हैज़ टू लिसन टू हिम. He's been very vocal about that. It's not something he's ashamed of or anything. He's very open about this part of how he runs a team. So when it comes to that, when you had Pawan Sehrawat, जब वो थे बेंगलुरु बुल्स में, उनका पर्सनैलिटी भी ऐसा ही है. ही इज़ ऑल्सो समबडी हु लाइक्स अ लॉट ऑफ कंट्रोल ओवर अ टीम. एंड उसको जब कैप्टन बनाया गया था, देन ही वुड ऑल्सो, वो अपना खुद एक स्ट्रैटेजी बनाते. ही वुड ऑल्सो रैली हिज मेंबर्स अ डिफरेंट वे. बहुत सी ऐसी सिचुएशंस थी जहाँ पे पवन को अकेले मैच जिताना पड़ा बेंगलुरु बुल्स के लिए, एंड ही वॉज दैट स्टैंड आउट फैक्टर फॉर देम, स्पेशली इन, if I'm not wrong, last season, the season before last as well, and the one when they won the title along with रोहित कुमार. So अगर हम देखें तो वहाँ पे वो चीज़ बैलेंस करने के लिए एक और पर्सनालिटी था जो if you can sort of obey rumors and all of that, became a little bigger than the coach eventually. But if you look at the current team right now, Vikash is in a place where he also, seniority hai unke paas because he's had some experience in the league, but he doesn't have form. So on what basis is he going to stamp his authority there? Bharat, Neeraj, all of these guys are young. They are going to blindly listen to the coach. The problem with that is, if aap set plans के साथ आते हो, how adaptable are you when things go wrong? Bengaluru को हमने देखा है time and again this season, when they give up leads, they have maybe 8-9 points का एक lead बन जाता है. Classic example is Pune. They allowed them to come back in the earliest part of the season. Then they did the same thing with Haryana. They did the same thing with so many other teams even in the last week. So अगर ये चीज़ आप एक knockout में करोगे, then Naveen knows how to make absolute use of this. If अगर नवीन और विजय साथ में चल जाते हैं कल, आई काइंड ऑफ वांटेड टू बी अ रेडर्स बैटल. मुझे ये डिफेंस पे नहीं खेलना बिकॉज बोरिंग हो जाएगा. इस टीम के सबसे बड़े पर्सनालिटीज उनके रेडर्स हैं ऑन बोथ साइड्स. यू हैव भरत, नीरज, सचिन, विकास.
डिफेंसिव गेम होगा. मैं क्या कह रहा था कि डिफेंसिव
नहीं आपकी बात नहीं. समवन इन द कमेंट्स वाज सेइंग कि someone was saying in the comments कि this is a game of defense. I hope not. I really hope not.
It won't be.
Yeah, I hope it comes down to the Raiders because the team is built on their Raiders. In a lot of sense, they have come into the knockouts because their Raiders have stepped up and done twice the amount of work.
And both the teams have potentially 3 good Raiders. अगर आप दबंग दिल्ली को देखोगे, they have Naveen, Vijay and Ashu Malik.
Ashu, yeah. What a story he is, yaar. What a story he is.
And अगर इस तरफ से देखोगे तो विकास खंडोला, इधर विकास खंडोला और सचिन नरवाल.
नहीं, keep it this way. सचिन नरवाल सेकंड हाफ वाला विकास खंडोला, 2 हफ्ते पहले का नीरज.
That's actually very clever. First half सचिन नरवाल, भरत, नीरज. सेकंड हाफ में नीरज को रखो, भरत तो चलेगा ही.
No, but the problem is Mayank. The problem ये तो नहीं है ना कि उसका दिमाग सिर्फ सेकंड हाफ में चल रहा है. उसको वो पूरा 40 मिनट्स चाहिए जहाँ पे 20 मिनट्स वो अपना खुद का डे ड्रीमिंग करेगा.
इंजन
गरम होगा. उसके बाद वो डिसाइड करता है, ओ गॉड हम लोग मैच खेल रहे हैं, ओ गॉड क्या हो गया. एंड देन सडनली इट्स लाइक 5 points, 4 points, 3 points. Suddenly you will see him scoring these things and then again he falls. It's like a sugar high. ऐसा राइज होता है, क्रैश होता है, राइज होता है, क्रैश होता है. इट्स इनसेन. बट जैसे रणधीर जिस टाइप की पर्सनैलिटी है, आई एम श्योर ही इज प्लान्ड फॉर ऑल ऑफ दिस. सो Shubham, not to take away from anything you're saying, I'm sure it'll come down to obviously the defenders and how well they can revive their Raiders and all. But I hope to God this is a game where the Raiders shine. I hope it's a high-scoring game because otherwise छिन जाती है यार excitement. You have Naveen, Bharat, all these guys. अगर तुम वहाँ जाके high-scoring match नहीं बनाओगे तो what is the point? Popcorn सब waste हो जाएगा. So, and given that it's the first match of the day, I hope it really revs us up properly so we can then wait for Tamil Thalaivas and UP Yoddhas after that.
Lavanya, I'll stop you for a moment.
Yes.
A guy named Sanju Samson commented.
Hindi में बोलो. I saw that and that's why I started talking. संजू सैमसन जी, आपका नाम आपका जो नाम है उसी हिसाब से आई एम ऑल्सो मलयाली. आई स्ट्रगल विथ हिंदी रेगुलरली बट आई विल ट्राई. ठीक है, आई कांट प्रॉमिस यू एनीथिंग. गलत बोलने से तो बेहतर है कि अच्छा ही बोल दूँ ना. तो दैट इज द पॉइंट. ठीक है, ओके, आई विल ट्राई. अपॉलॉजीज संजू सैमसन. नाउ वी हैव हुसैन कुमार मंगलिया हु सेज जयपुर विल विन. ओके, वील गेट देयर. नवीन एक्सप्रेस, बहुत से फैंस. ओहो, व्हाट इज दिस? प्रदीप नरवाल, मे बी सम 50 crowns king. हाँ जी.
A guy named SG Bunny said, speak about Tamil Thalaivas. So we have already covered Tamil Thalaivas. You can go back and check, and after this we also put timestamp so it will be easier for you guys to go and navigate.
Yes, we'll do that. For this one we'll do that for sure. So yeah, we've discussed Bengaluru Bulls. Wait, who do you think will win? You got out of it when I asked you in the beginning, but now that we've discussed stuff, who do you think is winning? I think Bengaluru Bulls.
I'll go with Dabang then.
क्या यार. Okay, देखते हैं कल. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we've discussed the 2 eliminators. पर ये जो फॉर्मेट है वो ऐसा है कि एलिमिनेटर 1 का विनर जयपुर पिंक पैंथर्स के साथ भिड़ेगा और एलिमिनेटर 2 का विनर पुनेरी पल्टन के साथ शो ऑफ आई एम सेइंग विल क्लैश विद देम फॉर अ प्लेस इन द फाइनल. Now, these semi-finals are also a very, very interesting sort of a thing, and we'll discuss them right now. We obviously don't know who's going to make it there, but who do you think will be a better competitor for Jaipur? Mayank, not looking at Delhi versus Bengaluru, okay? Not looking at that merit, but Jaipur जैसा एक team है, who do you think is better matched to take them on from the first eliminator? Bangalore or Delhi?
Okay, if okay, just scrap everything what you've said. अगर कोई भी टीम मुझे लगती है कि जो compete कर सकती है वो है पुनेरी. First of all, I'll come to that your question later. And second team अगर कोई भी होगी तो I still feel it's Tamil Thalaivas. For I don't know for what reason I have that intuition कि Tamil Thalaivas will give अच्छा competition to Jaipur. Now
But you're
coming to
assuming that Jaipur will win its final, its semi-final, no?
what?
If it's Tamil Thalaivas,
नहीं, I'm not talking
just
about this
overall
scenario
बोल रहे हो
in
क्या?
general. Overall, in
Okay,
general,
ठीक है.
coming to this scenario
Okay.
where either Bengaluru or Dabang Delhi will qualify to play against Jaipur. I still feel कि Bengaluru has a better chance. मैंने अभी कुछ देर पहले बोला है कि दबंग will qualify against Bengaluru, but I don't know. I still feel कि Bengaluru has a better chance क्योंकि बेंगलुरु समटाइम मतलब सेकंड हाफ में अगर आप देखोगे तो जिस तरीके से भारत हो गए या सेकंड हाफ के विकास हो गए, दे कैन जस्ट गो ऑल इन टक 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 करके और उनके उनके वो दे नो हाउ व्हिच टू टारगेट क्योंकि उनके पास लंबे लैंकी रेडर्स है. भारत का जो रीच का कमाल है वो इतना बढ़िया है क्योंकि मैंने देखा है कि स्ट्रगल करते हैं नवीन कुमार को आप देखोगे. I don't remember exactly which team against. एक तो बहुत अच्छा से मुझे याद आ रहा है that is तेलुगु टाइटंस जो कि सबसे लास्ट टीम रही है. नवीन कुमार बैक टू बैक इतने बार सुपर टैकल हुए थे. Similarly I'm not recalling which team 3 या 4 बार उनको सुपर टैकल किया था नवीन कुमार को फर्स्ट हाफ.
पटना.
नो पटना तो थी. एक और टीम I don't remember. That is very recent. This week only. I'll get that start pretty quickly after this thing. लेकिन अगर आप देखोगे तो शॉर्ट कमिंग्स हैं कहीं कहीं जहां पर जो टीम है जयपुर की they can just easily cruise past. अगर इसीलिए मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ कि अगर दबंग दिल्ली आती है so that will be very comparatively an easier game for Jaipur. Either way Jaipur will qualify, which I feel for the finals. उनके पास वो उस तरीके की टीम है क्योंकि आप उनके रिजल्ट्स देखोगे वो जब डोमिनेट करती है तो दे नो हाउ टू क्रश देयर ओपोनेंट. दे जस्ट क्रश आउट एवरीथिंग. उनका जो विनिंग डिफरेंस होता है वो 20 25 पॉइंट का होता है. लेकिन गिवन दैट हमने देखा था कि जयपुर वन आई गेस 25-45 अगेंस्ट बेंगलुरु बुल्स 2 वीक पहले इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. तो आई डोंट नो, जयपुर इज टू स्ट्रांग फॉर एनी ऑफ दीस टीम्स इज व्हाट आई फील.
But there is another, okay, that is right. Obviously, अगर आप फॉर्म की बात करोगे तो that is obviously right. But I kind of feel like we've had a situation where Jaipur has been very strong, and I had this fear with Puneri Paltan also because उनकी जो last 10 days थी, their momentum was so good. Like just before they had the official qualification, right? They were so good. They were getting better wins. They were looking more comfortable in their games. पर अब एक break हो गया है. There has been a long gap between when they're playing those games to when they're playing. In fact, they're not even going to play tomorrow. They directly come out on the 15th.
You're talking about Jaipur or Puneri?
Both of them. Both the top two teams, if you look at them, they've had a long gap, especially their first teams, the ones who will actually play. They've had a long gap between the last time they fully played and now when they're going to come up in that semi-final. I don't know if that's going to affect momentum. I kind of feel it will. Because आप एक groove में जब खेलते हो for 2.5 months, right? You sort of get into the sort of rhythm of playing every day or get into that competitive mode for a steadier period of time. And when you're coming to एक knockout game की बात जब हो जाती है जहाँ पे आपको जीतना ही है, एक double chance नहीं है आपके पास कि अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया then you can go back and correct it. That I don't know how much that will figure into this. I kind of feel it will. Also, please remember कि हम लोग playoffs की बात कर रहे हैं, so there's obviously been a weigh-in before the playoff. So a lot of players who might not make the weight will have to reduce weight again. And 85 is that cutoff that they have to maintain. And you have hefty players on all these teams. You have Bharat who struggles with 1 or 2 kilos because of his height. Rahul Chaudhary struggles to keep weight. और कौन है? पुणे में you might have, पुणे में these guys manage their weight decently well. और कौन है यार? UP में Pardeep had an issue, but Pardeep now has become really slim, so he doesn't have that problem. Surinder might have an issue because he's been off for a while. दबंग दिल्ली में you might have, I don't know who's there in दबंग दिल्ली. उनका कोई डिफेंडर है
विजय
जिसका वेट कट प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है.
विजय मलिक is tall, but he's quite fit, so I don't think
या
so.
फिट है,
I
हाँ.
feel
सो
I feel Sahil Gulia वो थोड़े से चली लगती
ah, right, yes. So all these decently hefty looking defenders might have a little bit of an issue, and it'll come down to just 1 or 2 kilos. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लोग 100 किलो 150 किलो हैं, but it'll come down to those 1 or 2 kgs, and that will affect your form. So especially for players like Bharat and all, they're used to it, no doubt, but how that comes into play before a playoff will be very very interesting. So वो एक और एस्पेक्ट है. आधे से ज़्यादा जो स्ट्रगलर्स होते हैं वेट कट की, दे हैव नॉट क्वालिफाइड, लाइक मनिंदर, सिद्धार्थ देसाई, दीज गाइज हैव नॉट क्वालिफाइड. सो आई थिंक वो जम के खा रहे होंगे अभी, because their season is done and they deserve it also. But this is another aspect that I think we should look out for. When we look at performances, this is also something that we should keep in mind. So जैसे आप बोल रहे थे, Jaipur looks unbeatable when it is in form, right? Like they look unstoppable because of the kind of rhythm they've had. But it's easy to break rhythm also. When they've lost uglily. There are games when their momentum just snaps in the first 10 minutes and then they can't recover. So in that semi-final... Sorry, Jaipur, yeah. Jaipur and Pune, for that matter. Pune makes a lot of silly mistakes when the momentum goes away from them. They fight back, but then suddenly जब game fast हो जाती है, then they are not able to control it. And Pune, we'll get to it. I mean, okay, never mind. We're talking about it anyway. Pune is so dependent on Fazal for composure. So dependent. Unko, he sort of plans every single thing for every single player and comes onto the mat. He does what coaches do in other teams. He goes, एक रेगुलर कैप्टन से शायद 1-2 नॉट ज़्यादा ही सोचता है ये बंदा. सो वो जब नहीं होता है, एंड वी हैव सीन दिस मयंक, वी हैव डिस्कस दिस सो मेनी टाइम्स इन अ कपल ऑफ गेम्स व्हेन फजल वाज एक टच लेके ही वाज सेंट टू द बेंच. Nabi came and said, हाँ, we have to revive Fazal, when उसकी ज़रूरत ही नहीं थी यार. All you had to do was just get a point and come back. And BC Ramesh had to remind him, no need, Fazal.
If I'm not wrong, they were leading the game.
Yeah, they were leading the game. They were comfortably winning. They just needed to ensure that they get a point and come back. They didn't have to do anything. Revive करके risk नहीं लेना था. But again, I think that was a wake-up call for them about how dependent they were on Fazal. And Fazal knows this. He knows that he sort of takes that central space in the team. So Pune के लिए, if, for example, if a Raider manages to keep Fazal out, then this team will struggle because they'll go back to their youngsters. यहाँ पे कोई पूछ रहा था ना, असलम, मोहित की.
I have actually a couple of more things to add about Pune.
Yes, please.
But before that, can we just quickly wrap Jaipur first?
Yeah, sure.
So that we'll have only Pune to talk about later.
Yes, fair enough. So Jaipur की अगर हम बात करें, Arjun Deshwal is their biggest trump card. And we've seen that it comes down to like how Bangalore is dependent on Bharat. Jaipur is quite understandably and in a lot of ways regrettably dependent on Arjun Deshwal. उसके ऊपर की जो डिपेंडेंसी है, इट्स नॉट गॉन एनीवेयर इन दिस सीजन. आई डोंट थिंक, इवन दो उन्होंने बहुत सारे सेकेंडरी रेडर्स को अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया है, कोई उस लेवल तक स्टेप अप नहीं कर पाया है अभी तक. आई फील एटलीस्ट कंसिस्टेंटली.
Yeah. What I feel is कि ऑफ लेट हमने जो परफॉर्मेंस देखी है वी अजित कुमार से एंड राहुल चौधरी से, combined with the fact that defense has been tremendous for Jaipur, and हमने ये भी देखा है कि हमने जब बात करी कि अर्जुन देशवाल is like a single force who is leading this team, लेकिन उन्होंने करके दिखाया है multiple occasions. He has what 13 consecutive super tens. Ridiculous. मतलब कोई इतना अच्छा कैसे हो सकता है इतने लॉन्ग टर्म में. मतलब I don't know, अर्जुन देशवाल I still feel थोड़े अंडररेटेड है. उनका उतना बात होता नहीं है जितना हम बात प्रदीप नरवाल की करते हैं,
जितना हम नवीन की करते हैं. डायरेक्ट कंपैरिजन इज देयर.
भरत की करते हैं. लेकिन जिस तरीके का क्वालिटी आप नॉट इवन इन दिस सीजन, आपने लास्ट सीजन में भी देखा, ही वाज द सेकंड बेस्ट रेडर. इस सीजन में भी मतलब परफॉर्मेंस लाइक व्हेन आई वाज ब्लॉगिंग, मतलब हर मैच में उनका सुपर 10 आना इज लाइक फॉर श्योर था. लास्ट मैच अगेंस्ट गुजरात maybe he scored against Haryana, where the team won 44-30, comprehensive win, 13-point victory. He had a bad day. He had scored 5 points. एक 5 point को ब्लिप छोड़ दो तो पिछले 14 या 15 मैच में he has scored super 10 each मैच में. जिस बंदे का एवरेज पॉइंट स्कोर इज 13, you can see कि ये कितना अच्छा हो सकता है. एंड वी अजित कुमार, I still remember last week मैंने बोला था कि the 2 opportunities he had, he has scored good points. इस सीजन में continued that. इस वीक में he has scored 13 points against Haryana and against वियजित ओके ही डिडंट प्लेड अगेंस्ट गुजरात इन द लास्ट मैच।
Hmm.
तो हमने इनिशियली बात करी थी कि वी अजित कुमार को लगातार मौके मिल रहे थे बट ही वाजंट स्कोरिंग। तब राहुल चौधरी ओपन कर रहे थे और हमने वी ऑफन टॉक्ड अबाउट कि वी अजित कुमार को मौका मिल रहा है, भवानी राजपूत को नहीं मौका मिल रहा है। सीजन पूरा खत्म हो गया, भवानी राजपूत को सच में मौके नहीं मिले, लेकिन जो मौके उन्हें वी अजित कुमार को दिए हैं एंड सम somehow or other आई फील कि राहुल चौधरी को इनका वो सीजन ऑब्वियसली रहा नहीं है, वो जो शोमैन कहलाते थे वो ऑब्वियसली उसके अब शोमैन के तो चलिए नजदीक भी नहीं है, लेकिन ही हैज दैट नैक टू टेक पॉइंट्स। मैंने उनको देखा है मल्टीपल ओकेजन में, वो जनरली अर्जुन के रहते रहते भी ही स्टार्ट्स विद अ पॉइंट एवरी टाइम। और कभी कभी उनका जो मोमेंटम होता है वो सेकंड हाफ में फिसलता है, लेकिन ओवरऑल ये थ्री रेडर्स विद द फैक्ट दैट दे हैव सो स्ट्रांग डिफेंस, आई गेस they'll cruise past anything। और
Absolutely.
नहीं होता है तो दैट विल बी एन अपसेट।
Absolutely. You're right about Rahul Chaudhary. एक interesting बात ये है कि we have to give संजीव बालियान a lot of credit because जो पुनेरी पल्टन राहुल चौधरी के साथ नहीं कर पाया, that is something that Jaipur has managed to do with Rahul Chaudhary. Like make him useful in raids, make
फॉर
him
श्योर फॉर
support,
श्योर।
make him support your in-form raiders better. I think they've figured out a good role for Rahul Chaudhary, and Rahul Chaudhary also pitches in defense जब possible होता है तो. So as someone, and if you talk to Fazal and all, they'll tell you कि raiders never support defenders. In the sense they like staying away, and defenders और या all-rounders की काम होती है कि tackle कराते रहो. But it's nice to see mainstream raiders like Aslam is one of them who gets involved in tackles. Mohit is one of them. Surinder Gill is one of them. They are very happy to involve themselves in tackles. So it's interesting to see कि राहुल चौधरी की रोल उस तरफ जा रही है, and that's good. That is a natural evolution for someone whose rating is coming lesser and lesser with each game. और जैसे आपने बोला अंकुश, जब हम अंकुश की बात करते हैं, एंड आई सेड दिस इन द प्रीवियस थिंग, वी डिस्कस दिस इन द लास्ट एपिसोड ऑल्सो, जब हम अंकुश को क्रेडिट देते हैं देन वी हैव टू गिव क्रेडिट टू सुनील बिकॉज अंकुश in stature is a shorter defender. It is difficult. This is not to put anybody down or to comment on anybody's physical attributes, but it is difficult to, especially when you're going up against taller raiders. बहुत मुश्किल होती है कि आप उनको पकड़ के रख सको या फिर वो होल्ड पूरी तरह से एग्जीक्यूट कर पाए. सो यहाँ पे जब आपको सुनील के टाइप, एंड अंकुश इज़ अ वेरी एनिमेटेड कैरेक्टर. अब अगर आप उनको मैट पे देखेंगे वो कॉन्स्टेंटली चिल्ला रहा है, कॉन्स्टेंटली कुछ ना कुछ बोल रहा है, ऑपोनेंट्स को भड़काता रहता है, एंड देयर आर टाइम्स व्हेन ऑपोनेंट मुड़ के देखता भी है एंड दिस गाय डजंट नो वेयर टू लुक बिकॉज ही डजंट मीन इट. उसकी इंटेंशन ये नहीं है कि वो पिस ऑफ करे, वो बस अपना भड़ास खुद निकाल रहा है वहाँ बैठ के. एंड द रियलाइजेशन दैट ही गेट्स दैट ओ गॉड कोई मुझे सुन सकता है इज़ वेरी फनी. आप ये देख सकते हो मैच में जब होता है तो. सो to have someone like Sunil who actually calms him down and who helps him with those combination tackles or supports him with, you know, keeping the raider down. Points में तो ये सब दिखते नहीं है, but Sunil has a huge hand to play in Ankush getting that orange sleeve. So the fact that they're working as a team is very very good news for Jaipur. And आपने बोला था कि Arjun has been a very underrated raider. You are absolutely right about that. But if there is ever a season to change that reputation, it is this season. द इशू इज़ अर्जुन बहुत अच्छे रहे हैं पिछले कुछ सीजन्स में भी, वो बहुत कंसिस्टेंट रहे हैं. एंड अगर आप उनको उस टीम की सेटअप में देखेंगे तो वही है जो आपके लिए पॉइंट्स लेके आ रहा है. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज टीम नहीं जीतती थी. सो वॉट इज़ द पॉइंट? रेडर अच्छा करेगा बट इफ द टीम डजंट विन देन इट्स इनकॉन्सिक्वेंशियल. लाइक सिद्धार्थ देसाई के परफॉर्मेंसेज टुवर्ड्स द एंड वर गुड. Sachin's performances for Patna were good, but what's the point? Patna didn't qualify. So why would we talk about those performances? यही बात हो गई अर्जुन देशवाल की भी इन द प्रीवियस सीजन्स, जहाँ पे वो परफॉर्म कर रहे थे बट द टीम वॉज नॉट बैकिंग हिम अप. नाउ द टीम इज़ लुकिंग अनबीटेबल. जैसे मयंक ने बोला, दे आर लुकिंग अनस्टॉपेबल व्हेन सब उनके लिए अच्छा चल जाता है. सो एंड इफ़ यू लुक एट द स्टेटिस्टिक्स ऑल्सो, अर्जुन देशवाल इज़ अबाउट 40 पॉइंट्स अहेड ऑफ भरत, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. 40 की 30 उसकी रेट पॉइंट्स अगर आप देखोगे तो
He has 286.
हाँ 286. Bharat has some 250 something, no? 257.
Bharat has 257, so you have 29.
And Naveen is way below that also, 246. So look at the gulf there. There's like a 30, okay, chalo, 20 points का तो at least पकड़ लो. There's a 20 to 30 point gulf in between Arjun and Bharat. And we know what kind of seasons they've had. So when you look at this, if there is ever a season for him to come out and say कि you know what, हाँ मैं आ गया हूँ, अब मुझे भी इतना ही importance दो, or recognize the fact that I'm one of the best here, it'll underline itself if Jaipur wins the season. So, And we know for a fact that Abhishek Bachchan and co have put in a lot of effort to make this team. They've tried so many things to get this team to win. Finally, it looks like it's working. And it's funny.
So
Look at the group that they've got. Sunil
do
was
you
fading.
so, so do you think like the season one champions can bring back it's coming home for them?
Don't say it's coming home. I think वो jinx है यार. मत बोलो.
So it's
इंग्लैंड
going to
तीन
Pune
चार
then.
साल से ये बोलता आ रहा है एंड इट्स नॉट कमिंग ओनली दे आर गोइंग होम कॉन्स्टेंटली I don't think this is going to work. But Jaipur has a very, very good chance to win this, to win PKL 9. And if they don't, they'll be very disappointed. It's their season to lose. But having said that, the people they go up against, if it is Puneri Paltan,
Most likely,
sorry,
most likely.
most like I won't be so sure of that. I don't know if it's because I'm a skeptic. Like I'm personally a
Is it,
skeptic. I don't think.
is it some anti-jinx thing
नहीं
which
नहीं
you want?
एंटी जिंक्स की बात नहीं है इट्स नॉट एन एंटी जिंक्स थिंग बट अगेन इट कम आई एम इट्स लाइक इट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई सेड फॉर जयपुर there's been a break in play. They play on momentum a lot. They depend on how the rhythm is going for them. Puneri Paltan seems to think कि the rest days will do them some good because they get some time to recover. अच्छे से fresh होके आ जाएंगे वापस. But अगर नहीं चले then how quickly do you think can fix the problem? So it comes down to that. They're a good team. They're a bunch of very intelligent players, but will they come together? Pata nahi. I don't know. But they're
And
better
for
placed than UP to do that.
last few games, I see so many injury concerns. I mean, I see so, but again at the same time they have so much of depth in
Yeah.
raiding and defense.
See
It
Aditya Shinde.
Aditya Shinde हो
Yeah.
गए, मतलब they have
क्या
so
था वो? उसको क्यों नहीं खिलाया पहले?
Aditya Shinde, पंकज मोहिते, आकाश शिंदे, मोहित गोयल, असलम इनामदार, मोहम्मद नबी बख्श was again came back क्योंकि इतने सारे टॉपिंग एंड कटिंग हुए थे क्योंकि क्योंकि उनको जरूरत नहीं थी लेकिन फिर भी मतलब प्लेयर की वजह से तो वो तो खेलता ही ना फिर भी
Okay,
लाइक
wait. For
he was there.
context, I don't know how many of you were there when we had that fight in the stream before the previous stream. Fight नहीं था, थोड़ा सा आर्ग्यूमेंट था कि नबी बख्श को टीम में खिलाना चाहिए कि नहीं. और मयंक बहुत खुश था बिकॉज उसके बाद जो 7-8 दिन थे उसमें नबी को खिलाया ही नहीं, उसको बेंच पे डाल दिया.
Not the point. I gave a valid point
No,
कि
absolutely.
उनको नहीं खिलाना
See,
चाहिए
no
और
one's
क्यों नहीं
questioning the
खिलाना चाहिए, I
validity.
back it.
Hold on. Nobody's questioning the validity of what you said. This is exactly what we said for Joginder Narwal and all also. कि point क्या है कि तुम यहाँ आके motivate कर रहे हो अगर points में कुछ नहीं होता. So, to be fair, I said the exact thing to Fazal, okay? I told Fazal, look, there are people in our team who think that Nabi is not contributing to the points table. So, do you think you should put him in the team for the playoffs? And he got angry when he said, I know, right? मुझे भी बहुत हंसी आई. But he got angry and he said, you people only see points table. You people only see scorecard. You don't see what we see. How people motivate each other. How people support the other defender. That's a long answer to basically say कि score sheet सब नहीं होता. But you're right. At the end of it.
Iranian bias is coming.
Absolutely. Without doubt. I don't think he's shy about that also. He's like, yeah, I'm able to talk to him in Farsi. So I'm able to tell him something that the other team might not understand. But who are they going up against? If Tamil Thalaivas wins, there's no Iranian in that team. If UP Yoddhas wins, Abozar is there in that team. Abozar knows these two inside out. Inside out. So if they do go, then this Farsi nonsense will not work for them. They'll have to really figure out, okay, you know what? There's somebody there who can understand our strategies. Maybe let's not rely on that. But nevertheless, before we go to Pune, Jaipur अगर उनकी एक बात complete कर सकते हैं, because we brought up Pune has actually laid out a perfect strategy plan for how to neutralize Jaipur. In the sense, keep Arjun quiet and evade Ankush. Because that then comes to put some pressure on Ajit and Rahul. Rahul may not work in pressure situations, but Ajit, the tension gets to him. He's become better from that game, from when Jaipur and Pune played. उसका फॉर्म इम्प्रूव हुआ है, उसका रिदम थोड़ा इम्प्रूव हुआ है, कॉन्फिडेंस भी बहुत इम्प्रूव हुआ है बिकॉज ही इज़ बिन कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग मोर टू द टीम. बट अगर आप उसको दबाव में डाल सकते हो और अर्जुन को कंसिस्टेंटली बेंच पे डाल सकते हो, देन दिस इज नॉट एन अनबीटेबल साइड. सो दैट इज एंड दीज आर मल्टीपल टीम्स हैव सॉर्ट ऑफ फिगर्ड दैट आउट. सो यहाँ पे फ्रॉम बैंगलोर एंड दिल्ली, बोथ दीज टीम्स हैव द केपेबिलिटी टू डू दिस, बट देयर डिफेंस हैज टू स्टेप अप इन दैट मैच. In that game, whoever qualifies in the Jaipur game is when the defense will actually come. Because Jaipur में जैसे हम बोल रहे थे यूपी की बात, प्रदीप एक बहुत स्ट्रांग पर्सनालिटी है, पर उन्हें डिफेंस में एक ऐसा किंग पिन नहीं है जो शायद who can take leadership there. But you have that. Your captain itself is a defender in Jaipur. And you have Ankush, who's more than happy to patkao people and get points. So even if the Raiders don't work, the defense is more than happy to do the heavy lifting. Saul to abhi raid points bhi la rahe hain. So it's a team that's learning how to contribute in multiple ways than one. So whoever between Bangalore and Delhi, यहाँ पे कोई बोल रहा था ना डिफेंस की बात, अगेंस्ट जयपुर दैट गेम डिफेंस विल कम इनटू बी. What do you think?
So no, it's yeah, it's fine. Look, but my concern was like what should be the playing seven for Puneri, क्योंकि the playing seven which they had when they were cruising past every team in the PKL, like जब उन्होंने अच्छा मोमेंटम पकड़ा था और मतलब I guess 10 या 11 मैच they were unbeaten.
Yeah.
एक बीच में 2-3 they played a draw क्योंकि they had the आदत to play very close game. लेकिन apart from that क्योंकि हमने देखा कि असलम, हमने देखा मोहित गोयल, कितने सारे प्लेयर्स जो हैं वो इंजर्ड हो चुके हैं. सो लाइक व्हाट्स द सिचुएशन, व्हाट्स द कंडीशन, क्योंकि किसी ने पूछा भी था कि असलम और मोहित का क्या है, ऐसे करके कुछ. So what's the update and what should be your ideal playing seven if everyone is fit?
Okay, so I hear that Aslam and Mohit are okay. In the sense they were supposed to be fit for the playoffs. So I'm guessing they have 3 more days. No, आज क्या है 12, 13, 14, 15. They have 3 more days. So I'm hearing they'll be okay for that match. But if it comes to deciding a playing 7 for that game, Nabi sits out. And Akash, Aslam and Mohit become the obvious 3 raiders that you pick. And then you have Sanket Sawant, Sombir? संकेत सावंत तो होगा ही, या फिर संकेत सावंत / सोमवीर एंड फजल ऑन द साइड. हु एम आई मिसिंग?
संकेत एंड सोमवीर बोथ प्लेस. संकेत हो गए, सोमवीर हो गए, फजल
हो गया. एंड देन यू हैव मोहित, असलम, आकाश, एंड यू हैव
वन मोर.
या यू नीड एन ऑलराउंडर आई सपोज. देखते हैं, एक मिनट, लेट मी ओपन द पुणे टीम शीट.
पुणे टीम, अभी आप पुणे टीम शीट देख भी लोगे तो बहुत सारे चेंजेस हुए हैं.
या इनकी टीम क्या टीम है यार. आई वंडर इफ दे विल गिव आदित्य शिंदे एटलीस्ट अ प्लेस ऑन द बेंच. मज़ा आएगा तब तो, पूरा मज़ा आ जाएगा. ओ हाँ, they've been given in a lot of ways they've been giving Abhinesh Natarajan also some time, even though he's made mistakes. Even though he's made mistakes, हाँ कैसे भूल गए यार. This is like the Abhishek of this team. He has made mistakes, but they've still given him some, they've given him some time on the mat. They've gone with him for a bit. So I don't see why they should change that. Why fix something that's not broken?
But depth-wise, I guess this is craziest team. Like probably the best team like any team could have ever fathomed for this 9th season.
Yeah.
जो depth है इनके पास, that they can at the same time they can play three teams. तो तीनों teams अच्छा कर सकती है बाकी teams.
Yeah. I know. It was actually a pity that they lost this last match. मजा आ जाता अगर ये जीतते तो. बहुत अच्छा मजा आता. But yeah, and they do, for what it's worth, they do have Nabi Baksh on. I think they'll put him on the bench because हम लोग बहुत ऐसी बात कर रहे हैं, but let's not forget, and I'm not saying this in.
I have a feeling that he might start for the team on that day.
Maybe. I don't think it's a bad decision if he does. Honestly, don't think it's a bad decision. But it could also mean that they could put him on the bench and then figure out if he can play a bigger role in the second half, depending on how the match is going. अगर सब चीज़ ठीक चल रहा है in the first 15-20, then you might not require a Nabi Baksh at all. So it comes down to that also. And Fazal kind of feels that Nabi's utility is more on the bench because he can then see the match as a spectator. वो पीछे से देख पा रहा है कि कौन क्या mistakes कर रहा है, and he keeps shouting things to Fazal. And then Fazal relays that to the team. So there is a decent leadership core there. एक minute. Abhinesh has power. Abhishek not standout performer. I am JP. Yeah. Mr. Toxic, please. गलत मत समझिए. That is not what I was trying to say. I'm saying he's also been a person who people have picked up points from. So okay, there's some unsavory language happening in the comment section. Please ऐसा ना करें. We can keep it parliamentary. Yeah, as much as possible at least. So yeah, so when we talk about Pune, जैसे आपने बोला, you have a feeling that Nabil start, quite likely that he might start because he is, BC Ramesh loves that fellow. He loves him. And primarily because when Maninder was injured during the business end for Bengal Warriors, he captained that team and won them that title. So it's not hard to see why he likes Nabi at all. and Fazal also rates him very highly. So you might just see him in the team. Kya pata? But if you had to pick your finalist, like who will make the finals, who do you think that will be? Or who do you want it to be? I know they're two different questions. दोनों ही
Okay,
बता दो.
okay. I think the depth which Puneri has, the form which Jaipur has, I don't think any other team going past that. अगर वो होता है तो that will clearly be an upset. So my two finalists are pretty sorted. The semi-finalists which we have right now, that is Jaipur and Pune.
Yeah.
लेकिन the final which I wanted to see is quite different.
What do
I
you want
wanted
to
to
see?
Okay, I want to see Tamil Thalaivas in the final for sure.
Okay. Against who?
Against who? I Okay, like who could be Jai, Jaipur? Again, Jaipur. मेरे को I still feel Jaipur will go to the final.
Chalo, that's not a bad combo at all. I want it to be Pune Bangalore. I think it'll be a
Oh,
fun game.
oh, nice.
If Tamil Talaivas don't go through, if they do,
Hmm.
it'll be fun, but they'll have to get past Pune, of course. But if they
You know
do,
what? You know what? All six teams are so exciting.
yeah,
ये आगे आने वाले जितने भी मैचेस हैं, एक दो तीन चार पांच पांचों क्रैकर मैचेस होने वाले. आई डोंट थिंक सो कि कोई भी टीम के पास इतनी इतनी ज्यादा एज है कि लाइक वो दे कैन जस्ट गो थ्रू. ऐसा होता है तो अगेन अगेन आई एम टेलिंग कि वो अपसेट होगा. लेकिन पांचों मैचेस आई फील कि इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी वेरी क्लोज एंड इट विल बी अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ 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 व्हाट सीजन वी हैड. इतना क्लोज सीजन कभी नहीं रहा था.
yeah,
इवेंचुअली हमने देखा कि कोई कोई टीम बाकी टीम से आगे निकलती जा रही थी, लेकिन फिर भी जो मिड सीजन जो ड्रामा चला था, जो उथल पुथल मची थी, आई डोंट थिंक तो ऐसा कभी और सीजन में देखने को मिलेगा. लेकिन वही रिफ्लेक्शन मुझे प्लेऑफ्स में भी आने की इंट्यूशन लग रही है.
yeah, fair enough. ठीक है. So that was the 6 teams that we have in hand that we were discussing. Mr. Toxic says, I wanted to see TT versus Jaipur, but it would be UP versus Jaipur. That's what my mind says. Interesting. देखते हैं. So what we will do is 13th, 15th को this gets done, right? So 16th we will have one more live stream, which is the day before the final. So we will talk about that final clash and maybe if anything earth-shattering happens in the semi-final, उसकी भी हम बात वहीं पे कर लेंगे. So please remember to join us for that. But before we wind up this live session, Mayank, there have also been teams that have not made it. Like just miss हो गया उनका. Like for example Gujarat or U Mumbai or even Haryana Steelers for that matter. मैं बंगाल की बात ही नहीं कर रही हूँ. I'm so disappointed with that team. Let's just not talk about them. But अगर आप U Mumbai, Gujarat Giants and Haryana Steelers की बात करेंगे तो any thoughts about the fact that they missed out?
You know what? Like considering every team barring Telugu and Bengal, because the way they had disappointed each of us. अगर चलिए बंगाल की कोई भी और फैंस बचे होंगे तो I'm like telling sorry for them. I'll feel the most like bad for the team that is Gujarat Giants, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से they rose to the occasion जब सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत थी, they won every game, they kept themselves into the hunt, they made sure कि जो bottom six भी है वो इतना ज्यादा गैप ना खा ले बाकी टीम से. इवेंचुअली जो होना था बंगाल हारी. बंगाल Bengal had to win the game by the margin of 7 or more against Dabang Delhi. And anything less than that, even a tie would mean that Dabang Delhi will qualify. और वही हुआ. They played a tie with them, making sure कि हम तो जाएंगे, हम तो डूबेंगे सनम, आपको भी ले डूबेंगे. Exactly वही हुआ. आखिरी के दो मैचेस जब हमने देखा कि दोनों के दोनों 51 पॉइंट्स पे थे हरियाणा स्टीलर्स. दे won the last two games with a very comprehensive way. They even scored 60 or 61 points against Tamil Thalaivas, which is a record in fact. But I still feel कि जिस तरीके से गुजरात जायंट्स, जिस तरीके से प्रतीक तहिया led the team and compete in a way that we could have never fathomed. It's very brilliant.
Yeah.
But again, the top six team deserve to be there, and the bottom six also deserve to be there. So it's fine.
Absolutely. That is a very succinct way of putting it. So I think we'll end there on that note. बहुत सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो हमें डिस्कस करनी है. We obviously have the end of season live stream that we'll do as well. And एक minute. I am from जयपुर ओके यू मुंबा और तमिल तलेवास ने ऑन पेपर दिखती थे उसे बिल्कुल उल्टा किया ओ अच्छा ओके ओके यू मुंबा और तमिल तलेवास were absolute opposite of what they showed on paper. Absolutely, it'll be fun. I kind of feel like in the final, like I said before, if like you said before actually, Pune Jaipur agar ho jayega. Otherwise, I would like to see Pune Bangalore for. If you were asking me, Mr. Toxic, this is my prediction. गुजरात को उनकी डिफेंस ने डुबाया है एब्सोल्युटली ये सारी पोस्टमार्टम हम कर लेंगे बट वील डू इट इन दी सीजन एंड का stream where we'll actually have some time to discuss that. Abhi, because they're not in the scheme of things, let's just keep them away. They're getting a break, so rehne do unko. But we've had a lot of fun doing this week after week aap logon ke saath, and we're seeing that over the weeks we've had more people joining us. बहुत से लोग जुड़ चुके हैं, बहुत से लोग अपना comments यहाँ पे डाल के जा रहे हो. And I hope you guys are subscribing as well and seeing the stuff that we do on the website because आपकी support की वजह से हम लोग कर पा रहे हैं जो भी कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. So please continue supporting us. ये बाकी जो 5 matches हैं, Mayank will be blogging them live on our website. So in case anyone here is a football fan and you're watching the World Cup and you can't watch Kabaddi, you know where to come to catch up with everything happening in the game. थोड़े बहुत interviews भी हैं जो इस हफ्ते हम डाल लेंगे. So you can keep watching all of those things on our social media or on our website. अगर आपको पता नहीं है then please log on to www.sportstar.thehindu.com. ये सब जब ये लाइव ख़त्म हो जाएगा तब मैं ये डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूंगी आप जाके चेकआउट कर लीजिएगा. मयंक एनी फाइनल थॉट्स?
I guess we'll wind it up from here. I don't have any energy left to say anything else.
Yeah. चलो. So Mayank and all will also get some rest so that we can come back. हमारे लिए भी एलिमिनेटर ही है, हम शायद एलिमिनेट ना हो जाए इस चक्कर में. ये चलता जा रहा है. We're 5. It's kind of sad actually. Like while it's relieving that this is going to end and we'll get some time now to focus on other things, it's also quite sad that the season is ending. देखते हैं. Anyway, we have 2 more episodes to join you. Please come back for that and we will meet you in our next live stream. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining us. Take care and we'll see you on 16th. Perfect. Thank you. Take care, Mayank.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.